It's recorded
Yes.
now. Now it's
Yes.
recorded.
Yes, they are, bad.
Yesterday,
Bad
like a
news.
Down 5 pounds, where I can't.
yesterday we discussed solving, radical equations, right? Well, here's other types of radical equations. Let's see what we remember from yesterday. Elise,
What is this
what do you
one?
do first on this problem? And by the way, sorry it's hard to read, but it says 3 times x plus 1 raised to the 2/3 power equals 12.
Yeah, we did this problem.
I know we
Oh,
divide by
we divide
3.
by 3.
Yeah, divide by 3.
You guys weren't very happy with them yesterday.
No, we were not.
And I
No.
told you we were gonna spend a couple days and you're gonna get better at it. So. That's what we have right now. We divided both sides by 3. Now, if I had to translate this into a radical, right now it has, this is a rational exponent. Does anyone know what the index is?
3.
3. So this problem really reads the cube root of x plus 1 squared equals 4. Now, I don't care which way you do the problem, it's the same thing. The first thing I want you to do is get rid of the what? The cube root.
So you gotta take the cube root of 4.
So you're gonna have to raise both sides to the
Third.
third power. Now, what I like doing it this way, because I think it's easier. You're gonna look at the denominator and you wanna get rid of that 3. So if you raise both sides to the third power, that's how you're gonna get rid of that index.
What's going on over there?
What class is this?
Chinese.
Why are they always listening to music?
Okay, so what we have is x plus 1 quantity squared is equal to what? What's this? Is this 12? Should I write
Yeah.
12?
It's 64.
It's 64.
Whoa.
Now, if you were to do it this way, you would have x plus 1 squared equals 64. What was different? What's different?
It looks the same.
It looks the same. We did the same thing. We raised both sides to the third power. Now, does this problem look like familiar? Does it look
Yeah,
like something you
like
did
the one
last
yesterday.
year? What did you do last year?
That, kind of.
You took the square root of both sides,
And you gotta have x equals plus and minus.
because we have 2 of these, and I only want 1 of them. So if I square root both sides, I get x plus 1 equals
Plus or minus 8.
plus or minus 8. And now in a minute, I'm gonna show you why you have this plus or minus 8. Now what do I do?
Minus 1 on each side.
So negative 1 plus 8 and negative 1 minus 8. What are the 2 answers?
7 and 9.
7 and negative 9.
That's what I'm.
Now, I want to show you something. Something where you don't want to go. Go to this part right here, since I already have it done. Can someone tell me, there's a third way to do this problem. Does anyone know what x plus 1 squared is?
2x.
Do you agree that that's what that is?
Yes.
Isn't that what that is?
Yeah.
Then,
X squared.
go on, Jenna.
I don't.
X squared, come on.
Plus 1x
Plus
plus
1.
1x plus 1 equals 64.
Okay, does anyone know what they could do next?
Combine like terms.
Wow, all these,
2x
gosh, smart.
64.
Good job,
Subtract
guys. Then what?
Subtract 1.
Subtract what?
One.
Subtract,
Oh.
you want a 0 on this side.
Minus 64.
That's too long.
Oh, I'm glad you said it. If I were to say it's too long, you guys don't want to do it. Now, can anyone factor this?
It'd be.
What 2 numbers multiply to give me negative 63 but add to be 2?
7 and 9.
I heard 7 and 9
That's true.
is true, but what kind of 7, what
Plus
kind of 9?
7 minus 9. Plus
Yes.
7 minus.
Okay, now,
Why is that plus that?
do you all agree that this factors
Yeah.
Yes.
correctly? Now, is the answer -7 and 9? No.
No, it's gonna be
7 and
seven
negative
and
You set each of these equal to 0, and you do that
Flip the sign.
0 rule. So your two answers are 7 and -9, right?
Yes.
Well, let's look at what we found our answers to be. Amazing. 7 and -9.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Okay, so you know how you do when you get so when you get x plus 1 equals plus or minus 8,
Yes.
and then you're solving for it.
Yes.
So when you do the negative, do you flip both sides?
You
So
do
it would be-
negative-
would it be
First of all, let me clarify this. You only do plus or minus, when this is an even number. So 2, 4, 6, 8. If it were to the third power, you only have a positive one. So if this power is 2, 4, 6, or 8, when you take the square root or fourth root, then you have plus or minus. And we did these problems in section 6.1, where we said square root of 64 is plus or minus 8.
Yeah, so
Okay.
when you get x plus 1 equals plus or minus 8, and then you're solving,
Yes.
and you get, like, when you do x minus 1, plus, what would you do, minus 8?
You do the opposite of this, plus 8, and -1 minus 8.
So you flip the signs twice, right? So you get 2 pluses and then 2 minuses for the other one?
2 pluses, no, 1 plus, 1 minus. I don't know if I'm answering your question. Say it again. Chris, help me out.
Like when you're solving it is what I'm asking, like, because there was never a -1 to begin with, right?
Okay,
No.
you're breaking it up into two separate problems where you have x plus 1 equals positive 8 and x plus 1 equals negative 8. So to undo the multiplication or the addition, you subtract 1 on both sides.
Yeah, where do you get negative? I'm confused.
Where do you get the -1? It was on this side right here. So you want to isolate this x, so to get rid of x plus 1, I don't want x plus 1, I just want simple x. So I have to get rid of this plus 1 by subtracting 1. And why am I subtracting 1? Because this is what the problem tells me to do. In this problem, you're going to subtract 1. In this problem, you're going to subtract 3, eventually, when you get to that point. So it goes by what the problem has in it. Let's do a couple more and you'll get the hang of it. Now we did this one in class, but it's not gonna hurt to do it again. Let's do it again. Can someone tell me, I've got some stuff here, what should I first do to get rid of this 3 and this 1?
Minus 1.
We're gonna subtract 1, and then what?
Divide by 3.
And then divide by 3. Can I just do it like that,
Yeah.
just to get it simplified as quick as possible? So is everybody there?
Yes.
Okay, now, the first thing I want to do is rip off this 5th root. That's the first thing I want to do. I want to get to this. I'm trying to figure out what x is.
You only want one of them, so you have to put
So what should I raise both sides to?
Fifth.
The 5th power. Now you've got a calculator in front of you. It's a big number.
32,762.
Say it again, Kaylin.
68. Oh, 68.
68.
Oops, sorry.
32,000.
768.
Okay. Now, I've got 3 of these. I only want one of them. I've got x plus 1, x plus 1, x plus 1. So what am I going to do to both sides?
Where is your third power?
Cube root.
Cube root.
Cube root. Because I have 3 of them, I only want 1. I'm going to cube root both sides. Why? Because I don't want 3 quantities of x plus 1. I only want 1 of them. I just want x plus 1. Now, on your calculator, do I need to write plus or minus on this one? No. When the numerator is an odd number, you don't do plus or minus. It's just the cube root of 32,768 is what? What is it? 32? And now what do I do?
Subtract
Yeah, you
1.
won't. No, I'm gonna minus 1. What is -1 plus 32?
31.
It's 31. Okay, now let's see how smart you are here. What do you think you're gonna do here? Divide both sides by 2. So what's my first line? Two-thirds power equals what?
8.
Equals what?
4.
4. We got rid of the 2. Divide both sides by 2. Now, what did I say the first thing you're gonna wanna get rid of is the denominator.
Times, you put it to the third.
We're gonna cube both sides. Simply cubing both sides will give us x plus 3 squared equals, what's 4 cubed, not 12?
64.
64. Now, I could do the long way. Do I wanna do this method?
No.
No. Check it out. You'd have like
Clever.
7 steps there. So,
Square root is
square root both sides, but remember, when this is even, you're gonna have how many answers?
2.
2. What's the square root of 64?
8.
Plus or minus 8. Now what do? I wanna get x by itself. I have a 3 next to it. I wanna get rid of it.
So some of the numerators even is gonna be 2 answers.
If the numerator, can you say that again?
When the numerator's even, it's gonna be 2 answers.
When the numerator's even, there's gonna be 2 answers. So tell me what my 2 answers are.
5 and negative 11.
5 and negative 11. Now, how can we be 100% sure? We could take one of these answers and do order of operations. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 raised to the 2/3 power times 2 is gonna be 8. And same with negative 11. You can use your calculator. We're gonna check a couple of these, but let's move on, because we did those yesterday. Let's see if you can do 18. And by the way, it says x plus 5 to the what power? 2/3 equals 4. So talk to me, what do I do?
To the third.
Can we really do it by itself?
Times it by 3.
So what do I have, next line?
X plus 5 squared equals 64. Then we have I don't know what that's called, but yeah.
Square root.
Yeah, square.
Equals what?
8.
Plus or minus? When the numerator's even, there's 2 answers here. Then what? What's negative 5 plus 8?
2.
3. And what's negative 5 minus 8? And guess what? If you were to plug both of these answers in, they work. You wanna try it?
Sure.
Let's try it. And we're gonna use our calculator, why not? Okay, so let's plug in 3. Let's put a 3 right here. What is 3 plus 5? 8. 8 raised to the 2 divided by 3 power is, bingo, it worked. Let's try the next one. What's negative 13 plus 5? And let's say we want to be lazy. Negative 13 plus 5. Raise that to the 2 divided by 3 power. Actually, I think I have to put that in parentheses. 2 divided by 3.
You wanna, you subtracted 5 instead of adding 5.
Oh, I did, okay. So, what did I do? Oh, I see, I have a plus sign right there, that should be, I have a minus, I should have a plus. So it's negative 13 plus 5 raised to the 2 divided by 3 power, and I hope to get 4. Guess what, my answers are right. Hey, you try number 19, talk to me, what do I do? First step, get rid of the denominator. What do I do? Not multiply by 3, but cube both sides. You got it. Cube both sides. Cube this side and cube that side. The reason why we don't want to say multiply by 3, because then someone's going to really multiply this by 3 and get 27. Now, this number's a big number. What is it?
729.
729. Now, how many answers am I gonna get here? 2. So square root both sides. Plus or minus what? What's the square root of 729?
27.
27. And then what? Subtract 2. What's negative 2 plus 27?
25.
And negative 2 minus 27?
29.
25 and negative 29. You got it. How could we check to see if this is right? Plug these in, and you should get, do the math correctly, and you should get 9. Does anyone have any questions on this?
No, I don't think it's easy.
Now, yesterday you thought they were hard.
I think these are really easy.
These are easy. Amazing. What should I do on number 20?
Divided by 3.
Wow.
4,096.
You get x minus 2. What is that? 3/4 power?
Yeah, I don't know, I can't read it.
It's 3/4. Now, what are you gonna do to both sides? Raise that to the what power?
4.
4. Does it mean multiply both sides by 4?
No.
No.
No way.
What is 8 to the 4th power?
4,096. Calculator.
Use a calculator. Now, how many answers am I gonna get?
1, because it's
1, because it's odd.
You said
If this
four.
power is odd, 1 answer. Okay, so now what?
Take the third root.
Take the third root of both sides. What's the cube root of 4,096?
64.
And now what are you gonna do?
Plus 2.
Plus 2 on each side, that's the answer. X equals 6.
No, 66.
66. Yeah, that's fine.
Now, can we
Yay.
check this answer?
Sure. Yeah,
Let's check it. What's 66 minus 2?
64.
What's 64 raised to the 3 divided by 4 power?
No clue. 22.
Why did I have, why is that wrong?
The cube root is 4,096, 16. You squared it. That's what I'm saying, let's do what?
66 minus 2 is 64. 64 to the 3/4 power? Why is that wrong?
Third root of 4,096 is 16. It's not 64.
Oh, so we have a mistake, right?
I was right the first
So what's wrong?
It's supposed to be 16.
This is supposed to be 16.
It says 64, you should.
So no one caught that. And you know how I caught it?
Call what? What we do wrong?
Our answer was wrong, you guys.
Oh
my gosh.
Because I checked it and it didn't work.
What's the third root?
What's the third root of 4,096?
Oh, somebody gave us the wrong answer?
16.
Nice going.
Then what do you do?
16 plus 2.
I guess.
18, not
So-
66.
That don't look like.
By taking that extra 30 seconds
Taught
to
you all
check.
a lesson.
So now, let's check it, let's make sure. Because now I'm feeling a little unsure. What is 18 minus 2? 16 raised to the 3 divided by 4 power. And then multiply that by 3. And there you go, there's your answer.
Miss Audia, that's good.
Okay? Now, what are we gonna do for the rest of this time?
Word.
Our homework.
The back side. Tomorrow you're gonna hand this worksheet in. 6-5 should be completed. This side should be done, and so should this back. Thank you.
Miss Audia,
I'm gonna bring it in.
Okay, well, he's on
I've never brought it in.
can you come here when you're done?
You wanna swing it, Loops, or?